Good morning, everyone. This is KP, the Marley-Ocean. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. It is a new day, new time in our mind. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. What a great day to start off. A lot of great things happening. There's a lot of negativities going on in the community currently right now, but let's not focus on the negativity, but rather than the positivity of what is going on with us and the things that's happening in our community. Before I get into this discussion that I wanted to talk about, you know, guys, I don't have a particular topic that I want to come out off top of my head, express to you what's going on, what is happening. Let's get the news out of the way. This week it's been going to be crazy and be fun. At the same time, Combate America is happening this coming Friday here at the St. Mark Center. The Fighter's Voice will be in-house covering the fights, the after fights, and what is going on, especially here in the fight game. We got special guests tonight on the Fighter's Voice. Make sure you tune in 6 p.m. on Mad Talk TV show or the Fighter's Voice, where everybody has a voice, guys. We do give a fighters, not only in the combative MMA world, but also the boxing world and everywhere else. Richard Ortiz tonight, and then Wednesday night we have as well. And then Thursday night we have the hip-hop scene and other great show that we have here at the studio. Again, my name is KP, guys. I am the host of the S&S Lounge, keeping everything sexy and spicy. But today I'm going to be talking about a little more what happened recently over the weekend here in the Central Valley. It's been on the news. It's been world global. Every news stations has picked it up, the news that's happening coming out of a Central Valley newspaper. It also has been internationally. So that's what's going on currently here in the Central Valley. And what is the state of our community? I know other communities have faced this situations, tragedy that happens when it, how do we as a community come together? How do we solve these things? How do we deal with this situation that is currently happening within our community? We always say it's never going to happen in a community. It's always going to be going somewhere else's other community. But when it happened to our community, like where you live in your backyard, how do we deal with this situation? There's a lot of things people talk about, discussions, but other talk people. But I'm not at that station. I'm just who I am. I'm going to express the way I feel and talk about our journey and our story that's going on. If you guys know, let's just recap a little bit what's going on. On Sunday, you know what had happened. Sunday evening, there were folks gathering together like any other weekend, like anybody else, for friends and family gathering together in the backyard, having barbecue, having adult beverages, and watching a football game or anything else, which is having fun. And then some senseless act of folks decided to come in and really change the dynamic, change the situation. I don't know the whole story behind what's going on, But there's a lot of speculations out there. There's a lot of speculation, not in the community, but also we call it the social media newscasters that are just making all these accusations. Even when the main stage news are really jump to conclusion of what is going on. You know, people say it's gang-related things, situations, etc. Guys, I understand what gang situations are. I was involved in the early 90s working with heavy gang situation with the Southeast Asian, dealing with the TRG, MOD, LB, all these things. I was working with an organization called Hope Now for Youth. I was one of the original 4 counselors that actually worked heavily with a gang situation during that time in the mid-90s, the early 90s, because that back then, gang war was very heavy. And I was brought in to work with the Southeast Asian gangs and kids and community. That's what we're talking about, guys. I literally live in a community which these folks call the trouble situations or trouble area. I was literally in my early 20s moving into a complex where they were heavy gang infested. Now let's change the mind thought of what's going on right now. Fear. The fear in a community. You know, we say, well, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to go down that community. This, guys, we, the keyword is we as a community. We have to come together at this time because this is where we live. This is where our children go to school. This is where we make our livelihood in the Central Valley. A lot of newscasters, a lot of folks are saying this is one of the worst places to live, etc., and so forth, and all this statistic, things like that. You guys, they don't look at the positivity of our community, but the news rather look at the negativity of the situation rather than the positivity. I want to look at the positivity of a community. We have some of the most eclectic, diverse community in the Central Valley, guys. There's so many great things come out of this community. I know the Southeast Asians have been here for 40 plus years because of the war situation in Vietnam. We're a new community. We've been living here. A lot of great things happen. People say, well, it's only happening in the Hmong community, guys. Let me just change that mind thought. Yes, it's the Hmong community, but the Hmong community is part of the Southeast Asian community. I'm Lao Chinese, but when it affects the Hmong community, it affects me as well because I live in this community. Not only that, I work with the Hmong community. I work with the Cambodian community, the Vietnamese community. There's so many ethnic groups in the Southeast Asian, guys. Look at the school system. Look at what is happening. There's some great achievement that comes out of this community. There's doctors, lawyers, businessmen, even people that are going into politics that makes changes. Whether you agree or disagree, left or right, it doesn't matter, guys. We were talking about a community as a whole. I'm not getting paid by anyone to say this. I'm expressing what this great country is about. Having that freedom, having that ability to say and express my thoughts. I have been in this country 40 plus years. Actually, literally, it's going to be 40 years. I came here when I was 70 years old. Now, I'm going to be 47 years old coming up this year. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a brother. And when I look at this tragedy, it is a tragedy. Someone mentioned, the Hmong has accomplished so much, but also it changes the mind to this is the first mass shooting that affected the community. It's happening right here, guys, in our backyard, right here, Fresno, Central Valley, guys. It's happening right here in our community. We can look at other stuff. We can point fingers. I'm not trying to put fingers or blame on anybody else, but we have to look at what's happening in our own community. If you don't know the history of the Southeast Asian, guys, we came here because we were involved in the Vietnam War era. Laos was part of, we call that then the secret war. Laos was very heavily involved when the pilots were shot down. The American pilots were shot down. They risked their life to rescue, trying to fight and stop the Ho Chi Minh trails of the northern Chinese or northern Vietnamese Viet Cong coming down. It was very strategic. The American had put like intelligent in that community and recruited heavily the Hmong tribe hill folks that were living up there, and also and the other Laotians that were involved in this as well. I can say that because my father was involved in the situation. My uncles were involved in this as well. And a lot of family members were part of this. At that time, they were young kids, not men. They were young kids recruited to be soldiers to fight this. And then they came here, had to go escape. They were tortured. There were all these things. Those were educated, were locked up. We call re-educational camp. But we know what it was. It's a concentration camp. They worked so hard to get their family out of that situation, to give the kids opportunity, gone to the refugee camps in Thailand and other areas that accepted these folks, then were dispersed throughout the United States. Dispersed, guys, throughout the United States. And they all came here in Fresno because there was something that it's a community, the farming, because that's traditional, we're known for, and other areas. We all gather here right in the Central Valley. We have a very diverse Southeast Asian community. When we talk about Laotian is a huge community. There's 65 different ethnics grouped in Laos. You cannot categorize just one. There's multiple. When you try to erase the history of our community, you erase a lot of folks. Now, when we talk about what happened on Sunday, these were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, younger than me. And their fathers, parents have seen tragedy, wars, people have died in front of them, family members shot, killed. And they're trying to give their children opportunity. And some of these guys are fathers. They have kids, they're married. And their children are not able to see their father again. Now, think of that. It could happen to anybody. But it apparently happened to a community, a Southeast Asian community, a Hmong community. That is my community. The leaders are trying to get together. We still have the elders of the community that we communicate with, and also the folks that are young here that have been Americanized. Sorry, guys, I'm getting very emotional about it because it affects me tremendously. And we are trying to gather that thought. We're trying to figure out what happened, why. A lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of folks are jumping to conclusion. Even news media are trying to jump to conclusion that is gang related. They form a Southeast Asian gang task force. I know what the task force. I know what these are. I've been through that process. I've seen it. The news are saying gang related. The news are saying this. People are going and asking family members, guys, when tragedy happened, let the family deal with the grief, instead of going in and questioning the family and videotaping stuff. Even the folks within our own community are doing this thing. Why are you doing it? Let them deal with the situation first. Investigation still happening. Let the family gather. Let them deal with the situation. It's so fresh. I get it. There's no sensitivity. Everybody wants instant. Everybody wants to be the news. Everyone wants to get it out there through social media, things like that. I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I'm so angry at the same time. But instead of pointing fingers, instead of blaming people, we as a community must come together as one. One of many, guys. One of many. You don't have to be part of the Southeast Asian community. You can be from the other community. We are still one a community. We have pockets of people living even in the area, but we are one, guys. This is where our home is. So I can say this it's scary because I have a family members that actually live on that street. The tragedy situation happened. Not too far from the house. And I've been to that area. I know it. But when it affects you closely, very closely, and you get scared because it was my brother. My brother, whom we escaped Laos, seeing all these things. Him and his young family live around the corner, maybe 3 houses down, 4 houses down from that situation. From there, it's scary, especially young children, and especially being a father or a mother or a parent, knowing that, am I ever going to be safe in the neighborhood that where I raise my children, where I have my family here, where I've invested in this community? Am I feel safe? There is fear. Fear is what gets us. Fear is rampantly going on right now in the Central Valley. The news are going. Everyone's talking about it. We see things, tragedy. A young man, a young gifted artist, young man, had nothing to do with nothing. Happens to be trying to be there for a gathering, families and friends, and celebrating and just whatever, having a good time. His life was cut short. There were 4 men. 10 were shot. 4 were deceased. And 6 are recovering. We don't know the situations are, and they are recovering. And there's convergence of medias and folks asking questions. I'm just, man, I don't know, guys. There are things, but again, it's happening, guys. Not in the Midwest, not in the East Coast, not in other country, guys. It is happening right in our neighborhood, right in our community, right here in the Central Valley, Fresno, California, Central Valley. It's happening here, guys. It's happening in our home front. We have to stand together. Whether you are on the left or the right, whatever it is, we've got to come. This is the test of what a community is all about, guys. This is what, when we say we come together, there's a huge tradition in the Southeast Asian families. We gather together a lot, guys. If you ever been to a Southeast Asian gathering, a Hmong, Lao, Cambodian, whatever it may be, you know we like to get together, have a good time. We sing, we drink, we talk about, we reminisce. But this weekend that happened, they're getting together like any Americana watching a football game as friends. And somebody, whatever and whoever, I'm not going to, this, I call this individual or this person or group cowards. They are cowards to act upon what they did. That's senseless, because you're trying to say something, statement, but you take people's lives away that actually have family members, because whatever emotion you have, that whatever it may be, cause you to do these things, or you are careless. You're not a human being. You are an animal. Yes, I call you an animal. Senseless. We can't point this finger. Look, it happens, and we have to deal with the situation. We have to deal as a community, as a whole. There's been Crime Stopper has been putting a reward up to find these perpetrators, these people. I hope they find them soon, guys. Yes, we have a law and justice that we go through. We understand that. It's a process, and I respect the process. But again, guys, if you are hiding these animals, if you are trying to protect them, you are as guilty. You are as guilty. Why would you hide these animals? Why would you hide them when they already have taken people's lives, people that they love? It hurts me to watch the emotional that his families are going through. You can feel the pain. You can feel the anger. And as a community, as leaders are gathering together, I know there was a press conference that was just happened. I think it was yesterday. The police chief and the community power gang and a Bobby's Bleer too was on there. I saw other people, community was there, trying to give you an update. But people already doing we call the social media warrior, social media stuff, press conferences, or press, or saying all sorts of things. Even in the community, some racist remark, things happen, guys. We need to stop this. We need to come together. It's not a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world, but at least we have some common decency and respect. And also we have to understand the cultural sensitivity of the community, from the Southeast Asian community, especially in the Hmong community. Their funerals are 3 days long. The ceremony, the events, there are people trying to raise money, things like that. Yes, good things. When there are people that are actually coming together as a community, trying to heal, offer, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those who are using this as political, whatever it may be, they're not there to look for the community, the people. They're just an own selfish act. And this, I can't tolerate. I'm expressing this because I am from that community. I am from the Southeast Asian community. I live in this community. I work in that community. I work around this community. I have been working all my life in this community. I have friends that spent years and years trying to build up the community. We have some great things, guys. We have some great. Stop looking at the negativity. Stop reporting it's all gang related. It's not. I have worked when Fresno, the Central Valley, was in huge issue in the 90s where gang was prevalent. Gang was everywhere. When people in these Southeast Asian gangs, kids, when they were getting picked on, they didn't say nothing. They come and just, it's more of an action. Nowadays, I don't know. I know the Hmong New Year is coming up pretty soon. Holidays are coming up soon. Events are happening all around. Safety factor, yes, but there is the fear factor we all have. It's already built in your mind. It's already there. We've got to understand. We still got to live. We still got to do. Don't show fear. We got to come out together as a whole, as a community, to rally, to work together. In this situation, we do not want 2019 to end in a very dark, dark, dark memory. We have to bring the light. The 2020, we have to finish 2019 in a positivity, as coming together as community, as a whole, as Fresno, as Central Valley, and whatever it may be. We got to come together and unite and work. And we got to stop this little pettiness. Yes, I'm an emotional person. Yes, I get angry. Yes, this happens. This happened in my backyard. Yes, it happens to my family. It happens to the people that I know, that I love, I care about. It's part of me. When that happens, it affects me. It affects us as a whole, as a community. There's some great people reaching out, some positivity. Thank you. And there are people that are just being childish, stupid, idiotic, negative, very pointing fingers, being very, very vicious act on social medias and other platforms. Where is your conscience? Where is the humanity? Where is the heart? I'm in very emotional today, guys. I came today, I'm here at the studio, I'm here getting ready, but I cannot get it out of my head. Instead of living in a very negative world, we see it happens everywhere, guys. It's out there. It's out there. People saying, KP, you never experienced this thing before. You never experienced warfare. You never experienced tragedy, all these things. Let me tell you something, guys. You don't know me. When you don't know me, you assume things. Until you have a conversation with me, then you understand where my heart is, where I'm going with this, where I'm expressing my emotion with this. This tragedy or this situation on Sunday is not the only time, but it triggered. But yes, it brought me something that I have to say and I have to express. I was born during a war, guys. I've lost family. I've seen things when I was working with the kids, the gang kids in the early 90s. I've seen the tragedy. I've had people people that close to me that I've known have been killed to gang violence situation, whatever it may be. Nobody likes to go to funerals, guys. Nobody likes to see sadness and son being ripped away from the mothers. or fathers taken away from their children, from these kids, husband taken away. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants things to happen like that. We want to come home, seeing that face, smile, go to events, hear the voice, hear the miles laughter, say hello to them, cheer, celebrate with them. We gather, like all my family in Hawaii and anywhere else, we do a lot of gathering together. When we get together, it's not about 5 people, it's about 10, 15, 20 people. We come together as a community. We come together, we make food, we celebrate, we laugh, have a good time, enjoying our own backyard, enjoying a peace and happiness before the week starts. We do that. Every community do that, guys. But then there are things, this happens, we wonder. Again, please do not jump to conclusion. Let the investigation, let things be. Yes, if you do have information, please contact Crime Stoppers. There are people, if you need some counseling or anything else, guys, please reach out. Reach out to different organizations, church organizations, helpline, things that to help you get through this situation. And as a community, we've got to come together, showing unity, united, togetherness, one of many. There are great places, guys. Be involved in your community. So please do that. I'm trying not to bring negativity, guys. I'm trying to bring some positivity, you guys. I do this. I love what I do. I've been doing this for many years. I love the arts and entertainments. I love giving information. I love helping the community. I've given so much. This is not about fame's glory. I don't give a shit about that. What I give and care about is a community as a whole, being and working and striving and being successful in any way and every way we can to move on, to give our children and the next generation opportunity and life, to strive for the best, to be the best that we can, and to always continuously pursuing that dream, what our parents have brought us to this country for a reason. I have a son, I have a daughter. Hopefully the next generations will thrive. We are going to be here for many, many, many years and generations being here. We're an American. We're going to be part of the community. We are one of the most quiet community. And yet, when things happen, we are part of this fabric of America. And the Central Valley, part of the business. Whatever political that you have in your mind or thoughts about this community, it's still one of the most beautiful and amazing community that I love, that is part of who I am. I love what our community stands for, what we're doing, and I've seen some amazing achievement through these young men and women and the father and the mother and our elderlies. We know every day they're moving on. Every day they're trying to live and trying to give the children opportunity, the grandkids opportunity to live this life, to fulfill this dream we call American dream. But yet the Census Act that happened this weekend, it changed. But when we haven't given up our dreams, we haven't given up that dream that we all have for our children and grandchildren. We leave tech. We're new folks here. We've been here 40 plus years. We're making strive. Let's continue building. Let's building the community. Let's try to be successful as much as we can. Give and be part of this community. We got to come together. I know and I see it. I hear there's certain political stuff within a community as well too. We have to stop that. We have to work together. This is something that we always are going to do. I'm just part of a piece of the puzzle, guys. I am just a piece of the puzzle that's happening and is part of this great nation, this great community. Central Valley is the second largest Hmong population. Minnesota is number one. We have a huge eclectic community here, guys. Farmers, business owners, politicians, students. We have to work together as a whole. People say that, well, what? I'm going to collect my thought. There's a lot of folks speaking and representing our community when they don't know nothing about our community. They have never spent or invest in the community and understand what's going on. And the assumptions, because of one news situation happened or tragedy, everybody throws in it's gang related. It's gang related. It's gang related. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing, the buzz that's going around right now. And everybody else and outside of the Southeast Asian community say, oh, it's gang related. You know who you guys are. You know, when I hear that, I stop and I say, look, have you ever spent or invest in our community? Have you seen the great things coming out of this community? We may not be here for a long time. We won't be here for 40 years, but you know what? I think we're striving. We're making difference. We're being part of what this community is all about. We're going to be here. We want to contribute. We want to participate. Let us have a seat at the table. Why are you throwing us a lot of scraps and letting us put on the other table, pushing us to the side? We're going to be here. We want to be part of the table. We want to be sitting at the table, making a decision that changes community, all these things. We want to be part of what this great community can offer because we can contribute. We do contribute to this community. And let's not write us out. I hate that people use this situation as a political tool when it's not. We've always been here. Yes, it's a tragedy that happened this weekend. Yes, it's awful. To get national news, to let everybody hear about it, sometimes it takes a tragedy, negative press to get everybody to know that we are here. No, we've always been here. This community, this Central Valley, Fresno, we have always been here, guys. We have been in the butt joke of everybody. We have been in the list of bad stuff. But when I look at this community as a whole, I see some amazing things that comes out of this Central Valley, this community that is our home. I'm not just speaking just the Southeast Asian community, guys. I'm speaking as a whole community, as Fresno. And sometimes, you say we don't belong. We belong. I'm letting you know we are here. We are part of your community. When it affects us as a whole. Whether you live on the north side of Fresno, south side, east, west, whatever it may be, this is a Central Valley. This is a community, so we have to stand up. We have to come together in any way, shape we can. We have to invest in our future. This is our future. The folks, the Central Valley, our kids, things like that, be part of the community. I'm reaching out to you guys. I can talk about the arts entertainment business, guy. That's why I love my passion. That's why my purpose. But also my purpose is working with the community. Is what I've been part of the community for many, many years. Been part of a lot of nonprofit organizations with Forum, with Stone Soup, with a lot of Southeast Asian community here. And I see and I hear it. And I happen to be the arts entertainment. Everybody calls me crazy, but you know what? I'm crazy because I love our community. I love the Central Valley. And I have a platform. I run a production company. I run a platform where I give people opportunity, that voice. And this is the way I can express my voice so that others can hear, others can feel what is going on, to share stories, because we forget that we're human. We forget how to talk to each other instead of judging or instead of just what we heard from other people saying, oh, that community is this, community is that. When you have never talked to the community, when you have never participated in the community, and you never have ever been involved or have a conversation, how many of you actually do that? I don't want to hear it. Just you have to decide. That's what's so great. You make that decision. It's Tuesday. It happened 2 days ago. It happens all the time in our community, guys. Let's work together. Let's work together. I'm not going to stay so long, guys. I'm going to end with this. We are one of many. We have to come together and work at this time. Start pointing the fingers. Start working together. Listen. You know, the greatest, we call listen, follow direction, repeat. Leave and let the family mourn. Our condolences to all the families that are involved. We are better than that, guys. Our community are better than that. We have an amazing community. The Central Valley. The Southeast Asian communities are always amazing because I'm part of that. I'm part of the community. I love our community. And we have to always move forward. I always say, laugh, smile, and serve others with kind of condition. There's that for a reason. My father has taught me those things. My parents have taught me. And my elders have taught me those things. It's not about having a lot of money. If you do, you're blessed. You give back to the community, it's a blessing. But when you don't have a lot of financial stuff, but you're willing to give your time, it just a little bit thing helps. So as a community, let's connect together. Let's stand together at this time and always move forward. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate it, guys. This is KP. Please let me know. Contact me if you have any questions. Contact me. If you have any opinion, your thoughts are. I'm here to listen. I'm here to share with you guys whatever I can. I said I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to do my best I can to contribute to this community, to give what I can. Aloha, mahalo to all my ohanas out there. Please let me know what your thoughts are. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This is KP, the Madly Ocean. Thank you so much. Have a great, blessed, and wonderful day, guys.